the metal's looking, it's okay for first pass. There's still a lot I'd like to do to it actually, but for first pass it's not too bad.
Sina was wondering about because you said like 4 weeks was a typical delivery time for a character. So he's wondering like how do you manage to do that? And what's your work environment and daily hours like?
Well, yeah, like 4 to 6 weeks is probably like a better average, and again, that's an average, and that's just on like a generic type character. Like obviously, there's many different factors to what is actually going to take up your time frame, whether it's like a massive boss or just some crazy detailed thing or etc. Like there's many different factors, right? But yeah, on average, 4 to 6 weeks, and yeah, just I guess my hours aren't anything too crazy. Like a pretty much do like a 9 to 5. Some days you might work a little bit over. But personally, I try not to do that. I'll literally get my work done in the sort of like standard workday and go home and sort of relax or do my own projects or freelance and things like that. But I think it's all just about like focusing while you're at work. Like cut out the distractions, cut out the Facebooking, chatting with other people, Skyping, all that sort of stuff. Just get your work done. Take breaks and all, but you're there to sort of work. So if you're sort of focusing and doing that for like 8 hours a day with a couple of breaks in between, like it's amazing how much you can actually get done. Things slow down, I guess, if you get interrupted or if you sit on Facebook all day, obviously. But yeah, I think it's sort of like that sort of self-discipline of just focusing on your work and just getting it done, for lack of a better word, just doing it. Optimizing your workflow and sort of being confident and sort of understanding how you're going to create something, I think, goes a long way in sort of hitting those timelines. I mean, it's one thing to sort of say, just sit there and work, but being confident about what you're sculpting, being confident in ZBrush, being confident with the pipeline you're creating an asset for will certainly help speed things up. Put on some good music, have a coffee. They help a lot as well. Yeah, things like that. And just practice as well. Like practice is actually going to get you faster. um, yeah, I think when I first started out, one of my earlier characters took me maybe like 2 months. But yeah, you just keep doing it, and you get faster and faster. You get more confident. You sort of understand what you need to do. You understand the tools better, and you understand your own sort of process and workflow better, and you can pump things out pretty quick. Hope that helps, Sina.
Yeah, that's good. Just gotta focus. And knowing what you're doing helps a lot.
Yeah. Um, weird. For some reason, my layer disappeared. Yeah, I think practice is probably the biggest thing on that. It probably wasn't until I started work for Tryon actually that my workflow sort of sped up dramatically, because so before that you would sort of do, I guess characters were sort of, they would take a little bit longer in some of the AAA-ish type projects I worked on, where sort of a lot of attention is spent on sort of one singular hero character for a longer period of time. Obviously you get to sort of polish the model to a far greater degree in a lot of those situations. But when you're at sort of like an MMO type studio and it runs the way that Tryon does, you kind of have to put out a lot of content reasonably quickly. So that definitely helps you speed things up, for better or for worse sometimes. But yeah. So yeah, sometimes the project and the studio can help. So I guess it's kind of good if you can get a job doing something that actually requires you to make full characters reasonably often, if that's what you want to sort of do for a job. I think we talked about this ages ago, where initially that may not be possible when you're first starting out.